Welcome back everyone for Retro Restore. This one we're going to be replacing the speaker in this Game Boy Color. Because here's what this one sounds like. So I'm holding it really close to the speaker right now to see if you can hear it. Pretty much the sound is all distorted on it, and it's just hard to hear in general. And this is a different Game Boy Color than that one that I talked about before. Ran into a few issues with that other one, so it's going to take a little bit more work, but all that will be on video. So this one is just a simple speaker change. And we start off by this one by removing these 6 tri-point screws. Then with our garbage tri-point screws removed, we just lift the back off of here. That was kind of stuck together. Hey look, there's some hair in there. Everyone likes to find that inside their system. I think we're going to give this a quick cleaning, and then we will get to swapping the speaker out. So first we'll remove these 3 Phillips screws on here, and then the ribbon for the monitor, you want to lift these up. You can use a tool if you need to, or just be very gentle when you lift those up. And then lift up right here and gently get the ribbon disconnected as you are pulling the board away. So we'll start with the board here. Going to use trusty can of air. If you're using one of these, make sure you're in a well-ventilated area. Got that side done, now we'll get this side. Now there are some spots down here. Going to use 91% isopropyl alcohol and some Q-tips to get this area down here cleaned up a bit. But the top part of the board seems to look fine. So just kind of take this and go over all these gross looking spots here. Then when we flip the board over, once again the top part looks fine, the bottom part actually looks like someone spilled something into the speaker, so that's probably why it's bad. And then kind of around it on the board, have to give that a little bit of touch up with some isopropyl alcohol and a Q-tip. And it never hurts when you have it apart to do a quick touch up on all these little contacts for the buttons. Okay, we have our little operating table set up here now. Have the replacement speaker right here. It's going to turn on the soldering exhaust fan, so it might get a little noisy, but we're going to get that speaker removed. Take out my desoldering wick. And we'll just place some right here and let it soak up that solder. Okay, that side's soaked up. And then the next side, get that soaked up too. There we go. So then we take the replacement speaker. So then we'll grab our solder and get our top one positioned correctly. And then we'll add a little bit of solder on top of that. Then get our bottom one positioned correctly. And then add some solder on there too. There we go, we have our new speaker soldered on. So while we're at it, going to go ahead and clean the rest of this shell just to make sure it's all nice looking. So we'll get inside the speaker area clean because that was pretty gross. Once again, just using isopropyl alcohol and a Q-tip. Then we'll also get around where the buttons go. So we got all the hard to reach places, and now to finish this up, going to be extremely careful because of the screen. But going to use a Clorox wipe to get the rest of this shell cleaned up. So along this edge here, that's whatever that sticky stuff was that was holding the shell together, and that was also on the old speaker. That was inside where the start and select buttons go. It's kind of nice looking, isn't it? And with that part of the shell clean, and with the board all clean, we're going to work on the buttons and the little pads on here. And then while the buttons and everything dry, we are going to get this with a Clorox wipe. It was like some nice hair and that gross gooey stuff all over on it, so it should come clean pretty easily. Just doing the same thing, the can of air, and then using the isopropyl alcohol with a Q-tip and a Clorox wipe. There we go, that's definitely looking nicer now. So now we will go ahead and put this all back together. We'll start by putting the buttons in here. The A and the B buttons only have one specific way they can go, so you can't mix those up. There we go, each piece fits on there. So the little pole that this part hooks to actually broke off, so hopefully that holds in place pretty well. And then we'll take the board, get the speaker in its little hole right here. We'll have to kind of move the wires a little bit. And then when you're getting this up here, make sure you get the monitor ribbon hooked in gently, and then latch those 2 spots in place. There we go, the monitor part's hooked in. Okay, so we have all of that in place. We have our little plastic power button to put in. Make sure the Game Boy is in the off position. And then you install the little trigger. Then take the 3 Phillips screws and put them all back in place. One in the center that has a circle around it, and then there's a circle around that one and a circle around that one. And then with those screws in, the final part is put the back piece on. That just slides right down on there. And then we put those 6 tri-point screws back in. Then after those terrible tri-point screws are in place, we will take our game and our batteries and test out the speaker. Here we go. Hey, I can actually hear it. Let me hold up to the speaker for a moment. That song's a classic. So I hope this was helpful for you, going through a Game Boy Color, how to take it apart, clean it, and replace a speaker in it. If you enjoyed this and enjoy watching old consoles get repaired, then make sure to subscribe and leave a thumbs up. Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see get restored. Have a few cool things coming up soon. I want to thank you for watching. Have a nice day.